I can tell you I've been in rooms in the last year or so with private attorneys who don't do immigration who've referred to the INS, and they talk about the INS doing this and the INS doing that. And I actually observed state Supreme Court in oral arguments, and they were referring to the INS, and this was as recently as 2013, so people don't know it's been abolished. And what happened was after September 11th, we had the creation of the Department of Homeland Security, and the INS was part of DOJ, and now that agency was abolished, and we have a standalone agency called the Department of Homeland Security. Within that agency, there are 3 agencies, and you have the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, you have U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and each have a distinct role. CBP is tasked with enforcing the border, and when people come in and they take their prints and they process people at the border. They also ports of entry. So I used to live in Miami, so around with the cruise ships and those areas, lots of ports. Florida is a border. With ICE, you have detention and removal, special investigations, and they're the ones that run the immigration detention centers. And if you didn't know, there are over 250 immigration detention centers across the country. Some of them are actually ICE facilities where they contract with private prison corporations, and some are contracts that they have with county jails. And then you have CIS. They're the ones that you apply for a visa. They are the ones that give out benefits. Each have a distinct role. And now we go to the immigration court. So INS was part of DOJ. DHS is separate. DOJ, within it, is the immigration court, which is the Executive Office of Immigration Review. And within that court, you have your immigration judges. And the rules of evidence don't apply, and the rules of civil procedure don't apply. You really should read the Immigration Court Practice Manual. It's available online. It's on the EOIR website. Go there. You can engage in constitutional arguments, though, involving motions to suppress, though, in immigration court. So just because the rules of evidence and civil procedure don't always apply doesn't mean that the Constitution doesn't apply. Of course it applies. Now, if you want to appeal the immigration judge's decision, you appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals, and they're housed in Falls Church, Virginia. And if you want to appeal that decision, you appeal to your corresponding federal circuit court. So if you're in New York City and you appeal the immigration judge's decision from the BIA out of Falls Church, you're going to file your appeal in the Second Circuit. Okay, immigration status. You have a universe of 2 people. You have 2 kinds of people. You have U.S. citizens and you have aliens. And you can be a U.S. citizen, obviously, by being born in the United States, because you have a parent who is a U.S. national, so that's what's considered acquisition, because your parents applied for citizenship and you were part of that application, so that's derivation, or by naturalization, that you went through the process of applying to become a citizen. This is a very complex area of law. There's charts, and the rules and rights go back to, what time you were born in and where. So this is not something that you toy with. You need to consult an expert. Now, with aliens, there's different kinds of aliens, and I hate that word, but if you're not a citizen, you're considered an alien. So you have immigrants. Those are people who are from a foreign country, and they're in the United States, and they intend to stay. You have non-immigrants, and those are people like somebody who comes here on a business trip, and they're an investor, or somebody who is here as a student. So they have a visa, but they're not going to live here forever. They're going to go back to their home country. You have asylees and refugees, and asylees are inside the United States, and refugees are outside the United States. And an asylee is someone who is a refugee, but it's inside the United States. So what is a refugee? A refugee is someone who, because of a well-founded fear of persecution on account of their race, nationality, religion, or membership in a particular social group or political opinion, cannot return to their home country. And they're suffering because of, they're being persecuted because of this. And refugees apply from outside the United States. So you hear a lot of things going on in the news about the refugee crisis in Syria. And someone who's undocumented is a term for someone who maybe had a visa and the visa's expired and they've stayed, or someone who came in, never had any documents, and they don't have any, they're undocumented. So what are some basic issues you want to ask in a case? This list is not exhaustive. These are just some things that I thought would be helpful. So you want to ask about their status. Like, do you have any family that is U.S. citizen? Do you have any family that is currently applying for some sort of benefit? Did you ever have a visa? Did you overstay? When did you enter? How many times have you entered? Did anybody ever take your prints? Because sometimes people have come in, their prints have been taken, and they've been sent back to their country. They never saw a judge, and they don't realize that there's a removal order against them. Another key thing you need to ask is, do you have an alien number? What is an alien number? That's a unique number that's assigned to everyone, and it identifies them, and that's the number they're going to use when applying for benefits, when requesting their records. That's their unique identifying number. Now, if you've had if someone's had contact with the immigration enforcement agencies like Border Patrol or ICE, they're going to have an alien number. If someone's applied for a visa for them, they're going to have an alien number. If you don't have an alien number, when you apply for benefit, you'll get one. Now, this number is really important because if you're doing an intake, you want to ask, have you ever been in removal proceedings? And some people don't know that they've been ordered removed. I know that may sound a little shocking, but sometimes people have never received notice from the court, and they have an order against them, and they don't even know it. So it's really good to call the 800 number that's listed below, so that you call that number, you put in the person's alien number, and it'll tell you case status information.